Breaking news for you now. MEG Energy shareholders have approved a takeover by Cenovus Energy Inc. after months of competing bids and delayed votes. About 86% of MEG shareholders voting in favor of the deal, clearing the final hurdle for the acquisition. The vote ends a bidding war that began in May, and it cements Cenovus as Canada's second largest oil sands producer. Cenovus is up right now, about 0.9%. Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget proposes providing more than $1 billion over the next 5 years to build up Canada's AI and quantum computing ecosystems while embedding AI more deeply in federal government operations. Let's get some more insight on this from Naim Antaki, co-leader of the AI group and partner at Gowling WLG. Naim, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Roger.
Is this a good start? Is it something we should have started a few years ago? Where does this leave Canada?
Well, I think a lot has changed over the past few years, Roger, and now is definitely the right time to think about the question of AI infrastructure. A lot of the times people were thinking about AI as just a solution, but you actually need to have the access to compute. That's key for global companies, and we need to build something that will help in Canada, not only for research and development, but also for commercialization.
And when you look at what's being proposed, what do you like about it? What concerns do you have about it?
Good question. What I like about it is the fact that I do see it is not a one-pronged approach. So on one side, you have the government that wants to spend close to $1 billion to build a national sovereign compute infrastructure, which will be helpful for public and private research. But there's also a lot of focus on what I would call using AI, even in government services, in order to cut costs and deliver better service, which is quite important. The other thing that stands out to me, there's a lot in this budget, as you know, is the super deduction, the different tax credits, and the fact that the government is also investing in funds of funds and to try to grow the ecosystem more generally.
And you say a sovereign system. What do we mean by that?
That's a good question. I think we will know more about this as we learn from the government. I think the idea is access to compute is the key question. And you want to make sure that you have a made in Canada solution that can help in a situation like this. And so the focus of the government is really to try to have a domestic solution that will not necessarily replace other solutions, but that can be helpful for specific situations. There are, as you know, sometimes sensitive research and other matters where a local solution could be much better.
Would this have been something better done by the private sector, or are there any what concerns you have with the government doing this?
Well, I think the government has to be involved, and the specific words in the budget is to support this public infrastructure, and they are also in discussions with different Canadian partners on this. So I do see different signs in the budget that this will not be the government by itself, but really a hand-in-hand type of work. If you think about the specific sovereign infrastructure compute, the idea here is to have MOUs between the government and different Canadian partners. And if you think more broadly about investments, the Canadian Infrastructure Bank has a broader mandate that will include investment in AI. So I do definitely see that there's going to be hand-in-hand work here.
And I think everybody talks about AI, but the quantum computing and quantum computers is potentially the next big thing, isn't it?
Definitely. Quantum is one of the strengths that Canada has. And, here we're at AI at the peak, if you will, and quantum is the next one that's coming. I think there are a lot of interesting lessons that we can learn from AI in order to direct quantum in the right way. And the NRC will be looking at how it can improve its photonics facilities and work with others to help both with quantum and AI. And so there's about $325 million that are also earmarked for quantum specifically.
And you said Canada, are we cutting edge here when it comes to quantum computing?
Yes, we're not the only one, but we have definitely been cutting edge, and remain cutting edge in different parts of the country.
And what is it about our industry that makes it so good?
I think the people. Research has always been a strength for Canada, but there have been different companies building on different parts of the stack, if you will, both in AI and in quantum, so you have this combination of research and development, which is really important, but also some excellent centers, including in Sherbrooke.
And then we're almost out of time, but do you think this will all come to fruition? Will the government honor this?
I believe so. I think there has been a very strong message by Minister Solomon to do this, and there is, if you read through the details of the budget, it's not just the government at the top level that is saying that it is important. You have some clear measures being taken by a number of different departments or agencies in broad ranges, from agriculture to defense, etc.
Okay, Naim, we've got to cut it off there, but thank you very much for joining us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Naim Antaki is co-leader of the AI group and partner at Gowling WLG.